If you have a service-based business and you're not tracking phone calls, you're leaving money on the table. In this video, I'm going to walk you through how to set up tracking for both calls coming from your ads as well as your website. Let's jump in. The first thing that we want to do is head to Goals, create new conversion action. And if you don't have the Google tag, you're going to have to set that up in your website. I already did it in my prior videos, so you can watch it and see how that's done, but it's quite easy. I'm going to click Save and Continue. Now I'm going to do phone calls. And these are the two options that I have right here. So setting up calls from website visits and calls from ads. So if you have a calls only campaign, or if you are using a call extension, which I recommend both, those work very well for service-based businesses, you will want to select this one. So the first thing that we want to do is we're going to have to select these settings, and we want to give it a name. So I'm going to add here YouTube video, because I believe I already have another one. And then select if it's a primary action or not, if it's secondary. Usually a call is valued more than a lead form, so we'll want to select that as a primary. Then we add a value if we have one. Sometimes we can say, okay, if we know that qualified calls that last 60 seconds are worth $10, we can add that in here. Here we get to select how many times we want to count these conversions. So in our case, it's only one. I don't really want to be talking if someone calls multiple times, as if that was a new lead. Then is the call length. I like 60 seconds, and sometimes, depending on the business, you might see that bringing that number up to 120 can be a good idea. But if you are new and you're setting this up, you might want to start with 30 seconds to capture as much data as possible. So that's totally okay. For the click-through conversion window, I wouldn't change it. And then for the attribution, I also would not change it. So I'm going to save and continue. The next thing that I have to do is actually come into my assets. So I'm going to go to campaign, assets, and then I'm going to go to the call extension. If you don't know how extensions work, make sure to check my video where I walk you through one by one what each one means and how to set them up. Here we are going to select edit our call extension, and then the thing that we're going to have to change is to the one that we just created, which is basically this one. And something to keep in mind is that you want to use the exact number from the website, and then that you want to also adjust the days and hours, right? You don't want people to be calling when you will not be available to answer that call and to basically answer to that lead. So the next thing we're going to do is click Save. Now we're going to head back to Goals and click Conversion Tracking, and I'm going to show you how to track calls from your website using both Google Tag Manager and the embed from Google Ads. We are going to click Save and Continue, phone call leads, and then it's going to be calls from website visits. Now here we have to define our event. Someone calls number, a number shows on your website, or someone makes a call by clicking a number on my website. So I wanted to actually select the first option, and this is very important. I want to take the exact number from my website. So here is my website, and this is the number that I want to actually select. It's important that we use the exact number, like exactly how it appears in your website. I'm going to use this event, and then I have the settings. So similar to what we did in past, we get to add in here whether it's a primary action or not, the value, if it has a specific value, how many times we want to count on it, do we want to update this to 30 seconds or not. We can do those type of things, and then click Done, Save and Continue. Now I have different options of how I want to set that up. I can do it through the Google Tag, and then I can also set it up using Google Tag Manager. So here it would be like if I want to do the Google Tag, I would basically copy this piece of code, and I'm going to have to add it into my website. For that, I will have to already have the Google Tag in my website. Okay, so I'm going to go into the website here, and I'm going to basically add a new script, and I'm going to paste first my Google Tag, and going to click head, and then I'm gonna put both pages and I'm gonna save. So with that, I added the Google tag. And then the next thing I wanna do now is actually add the tag for this specific call. So I'm gonna click tag setup, and you will notice different options. So I already have the Google tag, so I don't have to add it again. And basically what I really need is just a specific script. So I can copy this script, then go back to here, add new snippet of code. This is going to be call conversion. Let's put a website. And then important to put head and then both pages, and I'm going to add the script. And then I'm also going to show you how to do it through Google Tag Manager, which is my favorite. So we're going to go into our Google Tag Manager account. The very first thing that we have to do is create a conversion linker. So Google Ads conversion linker. We are going to click all pages. We got to do this only one time. That's it, and then we'll save. And now we're going to create our actual tracking for that phone call. Now keep in mind that means I already have my Google Tag Manager in the website. So if I go back in here, I already have that script. So that's why I can go in and just start basically tracking the phone calls. So over here, I click Google Tag and you can see different options. We're going to select the Google Ads calls from website conversion. We need to fill this out. We are going to take the details from here. We have our call. That's it. Exactly how it's in the website. We will also use this conversion ID. And then finally, this. And we wanted to turn it in all pages, right? Here it's giving me an alert that no Google tag found this container. So I'm going to put create tag. And as you can see, this is actually the same tag that I have over here. So it automatically populates. And so I'm going to put save also to these ones. That's it. And then with this, I'm going to call this website call conversion. And I'm going to add actually Google Ads. So this allows me to know that this came through Google Ads. Beautiful. So the next thing that I'm going to do is actually I have to submit this part. So call conversion added. I'm going to publish. And then the next thing I have to do is come into my website. So this is my website, and I'm going to check a few things. Like I have to check that I do have my tag. So I have it right here. So that's working great. We can see that it has the phone number. So if I click in here, I have the option to call. And then there are different ways that you can track if this is actually firing. So you can complete the actual call, and then you will be able to see that tracking. And then another way to do it is actually adding this Google WCC debug. Is going to open basically a little window over here, and you're going to see that when you call the number, it basically changes this to 999. I can't do this because this website is actually not published. It's just in preview mode, but it is a very simple step. And now you know how to track call conversions from your website as well as from your ads. It's pretty easy to set up. I hope that this video was helpful in showing you how to set up call tracking from your website and also for your ads using both Google Tag Manager as well as the snippet of code from Google Ads itself. There is one tip that I want to share before we end the video. In your Google Ads account, you will want to go to account settings, and in here we'll want to make sure that we are tracking calls. So call reporting, you want it to be on, and I want to walk you through very quickly these settings. So basically, saving call recordings from the last 30 days. Most businesses that are actually tracking calls will use some type of software to track the calls. I usually leave it as off. And then for sending Google Ads call data to analyst providers, I like to set that on, and then basically you get to select the provider that you use. CallRail is a great one. I use it for a lot of my clients, but there are different options here that you can actually select from. So if you were to do that, and then you would basically have to manage the conversion settings and like finish setting this up. But it's a really good way to better track and send back data to Google. As we know, in 2025, having data in your accounts is going to play a role on whether your campaigns are successful or not. If you're interested in learning how to set up tracking for lead forms or for purchases, make sure that you check the description because I have included videos that I walk you through step by step on how to do that. If you enjoyed this video, click subscribe and the bell button so that you get notified when my next video comes out.